Hello children, today we are going to discuss the lesson combustion and flame. First we are going to discuss combustion part. What is combustion? The process of burning of substances in air or oxygen with the evolution of heat and light is known as combustion. Okay children, now we are going to discuss about combustible substances. Or first we are going to discuss more about combustion. Combustion, it is a chemical reaction. During combustion, the combustible substance combined with oxygen to liberate energy in the form of heat and light. Now I am going to tell you what are combustible substances. A substance that burns in air or oxygen to produce heat and light is called combustible substances. Substance, example, paper, wood, kerosene, LPG, etc. Okay, a substance that does not burn in air or produce not burn in air or oxygen is called non-combustible substance. Like stone, metals, they are called non-combustible substances. Now children, we are going to discuss products of combustion. Products of combustion. Children, combustion are of two types. According to the availability of air, we have divided it into two parts. First is complete combustion. Complete combustion, and this is what? Incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion. And now we are discussing the products of complete combustion. What happens when hydrocarbon, as we know, most of the fuels, they contain hydrocarbons. When hydrocarbons, they get sufficient amount of oxygen, okay, they produce carbon dioxide, water vapor, and large amount of energy. So in complete combustion, we get large amount of energy. Now we are going to balance it. This is 2 here, 2 here. Okay, so this is complete combustion, and product of complete combustion are, what is complete combustion? Complete combustion takes place when a fuel burns with enough oxygen to support the burning process, and the products are carbon dioxide, water vapor, and large amount of energy. Now we are coming to the incomplete combustion. In this process, what happens? The supply of oxygen is not sufficient. Supply of oxygen is not sufficient. So due to lack of this oxygen, what happened? In place of carbon dioxide, formation of carbon monoxide takes place. Again, water vapor, and the amount of energy produces is less. Okay, is less. Now I am going to balance it. Okay, 2C, 2C. Okay, and here 4C. So this is what complete combustion. This is incomplete combustion. Again I am repeating, incomplete combustion. The products are carbon dioxide, water vapor, and energy. And in incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide, this is poisonous gas, water vapor, and energy. Now we are coming to the conditions necessary for combustion. Conditions necessary for combustion. So what conditions are necessary, we are going to discuss one by one. Before this, you must know, children, what is ignition temperature. Okay, before this condition, we are going to discuss ignition temperature. Ignition temperature. Okay, what is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which, okay, combustible substances starts burning in the presence of air. So lowest temperature at which combustible substances start burning in the presence of air. That temperature is called ignition temperature. Now we are going to discuss conditions necessary for combustion. First condition is presence of combustible substances. Presence of combustible substances like coal, wood, etc. Second is presence of some supporter of combustion like oxygen. Supporter of combustion. Combustible substances. Supporter of combustion like oxygen. Third is ignition temperature. Third is what? Heating the combustible substance to its ignition temperature. Ignition temperature. So when these three things are there, then the substance will catch fire. Okay? In the presence of all these things. Now we are going to discuss inflammable substances. Very important. What are inflammable substances? Children, substances that have a very low ignition temperature and hence can catch fire easily are called inflammable substances like petrol, kerosene, alcohol, LPG. Okay, so these are what? Inflammable substances. They can catch fire. Even a small spark is there, they can catch fire. Okay, so one has to be very careful. Now types of combustion. There are different types of combustion. First, I am going to discuss types of combustion. First is spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion. What is spontaneous combustion? Like it is a type of combustion in which a material bursts into flame without the application of heat. Without the application of heat, like we are not going to take matchstick near to that substance. It bursts into flame without the application of heat. How? Like I am giving you the example of phosphorus, white phosphorus. The ignition temperature of white phosphorus is 35 degrees Celsius. Children, if we keep it in a room and just like we say in summers the temperature is high, of room temperature is high, so it is kept in rises to more than 35 degrees Celsius in summer, it will burst into flame. So this is the example of spontaneous white phosphorus, spontaneous combustion. Okay. Now second is rapid combustion. Rapid combustion, like what is rapid combustion? Like a matchstick or a piece of paper or the LPG in the kitchen burn rapidly to produce heat and light. Like when we bring matchstick close to LPG, it catches fire. So like rapidly it catches fire. So such combustion is called rapid combustion. Okay, so example are LPG, kerosene, etc. Next type is explosion. Next type is explosion. Example is firecracker. Okay, when we light a firecracker, it explodes, giving out heat, light and sound. This is a combustion reaction that occurs suddenly with the evolution of a large amount of gas. Such a reaction is called explosion. Now next our topic is children. Fire we have discussed. Now sometime there is big fire, how we are going to extinguish this fire. As we know, we have studied the things required for fire. If we remove one of the thing, okay, things required for combustion, if we remove one of the thing from there, what will happen? Like we can control fire. So we are going to discuss extinguishing fire. Extinguishing fire. Okay. So one by one we will see, as we know that combustible substance is required for first, as we have discussed, combustible substance is required. If we remove, then fire will not take place. Okay. So this is not possible to remove combustible substance. Like a building is on fire, as the entire building is the combustible substance, we cannot remove it. Second thing, but sometimes like fire is like any cloth has caught fire, we can remove this from the place. Second is like ignition temperature, as I told you. So if we cool the substance to below its ignition temperature, if we cool the substance below its, then the fire, we can stop the fire. Cool the substance below its ignition temperature. Ignition temperature. Okay, this is normally done with that. Like I told you about phosphorus. So phosphorus, as we know, white phosphorus temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. If we cool this or we keep in water, so that temperature will go down. It will not catch the fire. And we, okay, or by like any place has caught in fire, so with the help of water we can cool down. Okay, but children, be careful. Water does not water works only when wood or paper are on fire. Fire in electric equipments cannot be controlled with water. Okay, as we know, water is a good conductor of electric, not pure water like the tap water conducts electricity. Now third is cutting off. Third is, as we know, supporter is very important. Like oxygen for combustion, supporter is important. Like oxygen, if we cut off the supply of air, a source of oxygen, we can extinguish the fire. This can be done with the help of carbon dioxide gas, which is not a supporter of combustion. Beside it, it is heavier than air and forms blanket around the fire. Now children, we are going to discuss about, because now we know carbon dioxide is a gas which can extinguish fire. So now we are going to discuss that about the fire extinguisher. By that we can reduce carbon dioxide. Okay. First we are going to discuss about soda acid type fire extinguisher. soda acid type fire extinguisher. Okay. So what is this? In this, the property of acid to liberate carbon dioxide on reacting with carbonates and bicarbonates of metals is utilized. So which property? The property of acids to liberate carbon dioxide on reacting with carbonates and bicarbonates of metals. So this property we are going to use in this. There are three parts in a fire extinguisher container. Children, I am going to draw a rough diagram. This is container. Okay. Container. In this container, you can see the picture in the book also. Okay. The bottle is fixed. This is glass bottle. Okay. This glass bottle contains acid. This glass bottle contains sulfuric acid. So it has main three parts. First is this container, second is this bottle, and third is this knob. Third is this knob. This is the knob. Okay. This is container. Okay. So the container of a fire extinguisher is a cylindrical in shape. It contains sodium bicarbonate solution. Sodium NaHCO. Sodium bicarbonate solution. Okay. It is filled in here. It contains sodium bicarbonate solution. The small bottle contains concentrated sulfuric acid in this bottle. This bottle is attached to the knob. For the chemical reaction to take place, the knob is struck. Okay, when suppose there is fire, first knob is struck, the bottle breaks, and this bottle, the sulfuric acid come and mix with sodium bicarbonate. So this is the reaction: sodium bicarbonate mixed with sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, and then what reaction takes place? Sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 plus carbon dioxide. These bicarbonate produces carbon dioxide and water. CO2 plus water. And children, you know water, function of water is to reduce the, it cools down. Ignition temperature it reduces. Now I am going to balance it. 2 CO2, 2 CO2, and this is 2. Okay. So when the reaction takes place, sodium bicarbonate react with sulfuric acid, it forms sodium sulfate, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. Okay. The bottle breaks. This large amount of carbon dioxide gas with great force comes out. It forms a blanket around the fire, cutting off the supply of air, or we can say oxygen, due to which the fire gets extinguishes. And there are 2 more fire extinguishers we are going to discuss. Next is foam fire extinguisher. It is effective for fires caused by solids and liquids. And third is dry powder. This is effective for fires caused by liquids and faulty electric fires. So children, that's all.